Say hi, Rob. You need a video, Joe? No, thank you. Sure.
Just kidding.
Right, so first of all, guys, when you get your client in here, remember you've got to
excuse them.
You've got to treat it like it's your client and not one of your classmates. What you do. So remember, you've got to wash your hands. All the gears in here are taken. Right, Rob.
Yeah. So just just damn it to it, and then damn it. If you just record it and then you send give it to everyone.
Chill, I love you.
You'll get all of this with it.
My girl wants to party. You've got that. You've got that.
Just sing You Rock My World. Start doing the moonwalk.
No.
Hey, do we need to see, who do we see about getting more? Gary.
Nothing to do with the school, I have no idea. I've just bought that one there is one that I've just bought in myself and filled up because I've bought another load. But, I don't know who got it before, probably Breezy, I imagine.
I'll have a yarn to
JJ.
What you did?
I'll find you. And when I find you, I will kill you. Make no mistake, JJ. Wrong.
Actually, how did you get?
Days numbered.
Right, so.
Not on your phone.
iPod.
What?
Sorry, listen.
Right, before you get started, wash your hands, which I've done before I come up. Wash your hands over in the sink. You want to drape, explain what you're going to do, drape, and then leave the room. So I'm going to demonstrate on a few different parts of Rob's body. So wrap this around your waist, like so, and then you need to take your top off as well. So at that stage I'd leave, but because you're all classmates, you can just do that.
So we're going to have a naked in front of each other on a regular basis because we're classmates.
To be honest, I get naked in front of you.
Boy! What have you done here?
Roll on your back first, to start off on your back. So I'm just going to show, I'm not going to go over all of the pre-stuff, you guys need to check on that. I'm just going to go over a few techniques that I've written down here. So the first one, and you guys can practice this as well, so the first one that I'm going to do is, and another thing when you're going up into the higher quad, wrap the towel up around like that there, so you're not going up under the shorts.
No. Oh. You say good way.
Mike was giving you, and I just kept that in the feet.
Sounds great.
I'm going to move. I'm not going to be sat in the back of the film also.
Right, so the first one that we're going to look at is the figure of 8, and you can do the figure of 8 in using any part of the body, but it's as simple as I'm just making a figure of 8 there, effleurage. So the first one's I'm going to go over at effleurage, and so you're obviously working up towards the heart muscle. In a figure of 8, I'm going up into the heart heavier and back not as heavy there.
So why does it you always have to keep your hand on, like when you're coming back? Why can't you just like take it?
I'm not too sure why. Sorry, chap.
No problem.
That's a good question. I'll look that up for you and get back to you. So figure of 8 like that there. Is everyone happy with that?
Yep.
Working the rectus femoris at the moment.
We can just say quads, can we?
Yeah, it's your rectus femoris, vastus medialis, vastus lateralis. Down the side.
Just over
So,
200 pounds. Just over 200 pounds. It's alright.
I'll still stay in your...
Probably cheaper now.
I'll roll around, I'll go on your bit on, I'll do all the ones on your quad. Right, so I'll do all the ones on your quad for a start off that I've got down. Obviously some ones are easier to do in certain parts of the body. The figure eight, see, you can do the figure eight on the quad, you can do it on the hamstring, on the back. But there are certain parts that you might struggle to do figure eights, and we'll get into those soon. So now different techniques, using your flat hand. So you put pressure on part of your hand, flat hand, and up like that there.
What injury did you do that for?
If you wouldn't do it for injury, you do it more for warming the muscle up.
Breaking down.
If you did have some type of injury there, once it started to heal, but you may have a few adhesions or scar tissues, then you can do that. But you do, in particular, you do a lot of friction work to break down the scar tissue.
So what's the sort of ones you can't do? Say for example, someone had diabetes or something. Obviously, that's a contraindication. What would your limits be? Like, what would you be able to do, and what wouldn't you?
Diabetes, you just make sure that they drink water. You can still massage, make sure they have water with them. Make sure that they've got their insulin if they need that. Just wee things like that. If they've got, what was it? There was one where you're not meant to at all. Cancer. If they've got cancer, then you don't want to.
It breaks it down and it
spreads it around the blood.
So that, but I'm not going to give that to you. So
breaks the tumour down and it go around. Little tumours.
Next one, V. Just with the V in your hand up there, so you can say your vastus lateralis runs down there. You can attack each side of them in the V, and then you've got
Pay attention.
then you've got the heel and thumb. So you're using the heel of your palm. And thumbs as well. So heel, thumb. Thumbs get a lot more. You probably can't get as much weight in behind it when you're doing your thumbs, but you can get in a lot more specific area. So when you're doing thumbs, you can say you're working the medialis. You can really work in specific in there and run up the fibre of the muscle, and then you can move up and just attack it like that there. Whereas if you're doing the palm, you're like attacking the whole medialis like that, and it's hard. You slide off a little bit more, but you're trying to attack the whole muscle there. Does that make sense? But then it's harder to get deeper when you're just using your thumbs. So you can't really put a lot of weight through your thumbs.
So would that be just for, like, say if you found a knot or something, like a specific...
Yeah, that's good. So if you start to find knots and things like that, then you start, especially your thumbs, use your thumbs to really narrow down on that. Forearm glide. So this is for your big brush strokes type of thing. So we're really